If you've never been in the bottom, it's some stuff you ain't never had to know. But all of you that have been in the bottom, you know it oh too well, don't you? You have an idea of what it feels like. You've seen some kids get put in foster care. You've seen Child Protective Services come to somebody's house. You've seen kids come to school with less. You might have been one of the kids that went to school with less. You have struggled to give your kids a better life than the one you had. They don't hear this. But I'm gonna tell you something right now. You can be successful without an education. You can be successful without coming from a rich family. I don't care what's wrong with you. You can be successful.
Just keep moving. Don't start feeling sorry for yourself. Don't spend time blaming and talking about what happened to you. See, whatever you talk about, that's what you multiply and expand in your life experience. So don't talk about stuff unless you want it to keep on happening to you, all right? When you decide, I'm not going to settle for this. This is not going to be it for my life. I deserve more than this. See, that will start making you do some stuff. See, a lot of people go to work every day miserable, and all they do is just talk about how miserable they are, but they don't do anything about it. When the challenges of life come your way, you've got to find ways to increase your sense of self-appreciation, because if you don't, you're bombarded with negative stuff every day that beats you down, and you will find yourself unconsciously engaged in self-destructive behavior. If you don't program yourself, life will program you. When you know within yourself that there's something you want to do, and I believe that all of us were born with a purpose, that all of us have something that we are supposed to do, that all of us have some goodness within us, and that goodness gives us a responsibility to manifest our greatness. And when you know that, you can feel it in your guts, and you know that you're deliberately operating below your potential. You've gotten comfortable. You stop expanding, you stop stretching, you stop challenging yourself. Let me share something else with you. Not only is it possible for you to have your dream, but it's necessary.
Even if you're put through the most horrible situations, either you can come out using that experience as a better human being, or you can use the experience to become a horrible mess. So whenever something hurts you, there are two options. You can either become wounded or you can become wise. This is the choice. The more things hurt you early on in your life, the wiser you should have become, isn't it? But unfortunately, most people become wounded. This is simply because they just need an excuse to turn their own intelligence against themselves, that's all. Especially if the world around you turns against you.
It's like a storm that is hitting you. You know, you lose someone that you know dies, you are gonna get put into a storm. And what's scary about it is it's an emotional storm, and you have no control over it. So you're gonna break down, start crying, you're gonna remember bad things, good things. You're not gonna be in control of your emotions, which is very difficult for adults because we're used to having some level of control over our emotions. So for a period of time, you're gonna get hit with waves of emotion that you have no control over, and they're gonna knock you off your feet, and you're not gonna be able to finish a sentence. It's very, very difficult. But over time, that storm is going to fade a little bit, and those waves are going to get weaker.
When life knocks your butt down, I want you to get up and I want you to go heavy on it. When life deals you a challenge that you didn't expect, I want you to get your butt up and I want you to go heavy on it. The lesson was, when life dishes you a circumstance that you can't control, I want you to get your butt up and I want you to go heavy on it. I just want one thing from you today. Every single day, in the midst of the opposition, in the midst of the challenge, in the midst of the adversity, to first and foremost never forget that we don't burn out in life because of what we do. We burn out in life because life makes us forget why we do it. Second, I want you to get up and I want you to go heavy on it.
At times of hell, even the hardest men, in times of suffering, what we do is we forget how hard we really are. Because that's what suffering is. Suffering is a test. That's all it is. Suffering is the true test of life. This is a race that you run completely alone. And you're all by yourself. I'm training my mind and my body and my spirit so it's all one, so I can handle what life is going to throw at me. Because the life I've lived, it throws a whole bunch at you. And if you're not physically and mentally prepared for that, you're just going to crumble and you're good for nobody. And then you put a goal in your mind. How are you going to feel, man, when you accomplish this goal coming from that? A lot of people start from a good starting point. They have a good foundation. What if you can surpass all of the... What if everybody who was way up here started up here, and you had You started with no legs. You had to grow legs to even start walking, and then crawling, and then running. And then you start passing people with all this given to them. I had to use all this negative that was making me weak and horrible as a person. I had to use this as the power that now fueled me. I had to flip it on its head and say, hold up, this might be exactly what I need. The darkness is exactly what I need. It's how you look at your situation.
Quit tripping during the process. Oh Lord, why me? You ain't the only one. Oh Lord, why me? You ain't the only one. There is a blessing in everything. Behind every moment of adversity in your life, there is a blessing and a lesson. Every moment of adversity has those two things. Pain always leaves a gift. It's not going to change for you. It's COVID for everybody. Say just you, because you got to change your career. Maybe it was time for you to move on. When a door gets shut, all you got to do is walk up the hall. It's more doors. If you look in life and just step outside for a minute and quit tripping, it really ain't no problem.
Enjoy every aspect of life and don't waste any experience. Because I feel like for most of us, we enjoy the good parts, right? And for most of us, most days are good days, right? But we often waste experiences that don't show up or turn out the way that we want them to. And I feel like that's a big mistake, because in those experiences are some of the greatest lessons and the greatest opportunities to shape and mold us into beautiful people, right? And so when I say enjoy every aspect of life, enjoy everything, ups, downs, successes, failures, highs, lows, like everything, right? Because in the end, it's the culmination of all of that that shapes who they will become. And so enjoy all of it. Don't waste any of it, man. On the days where it's great, celebrate it. Days when it's not, celebrate it. It might be hard, but celebrate it. But everything passes with time, right? And so I just tell them, enjoy every aspect of life and don't waste experiences.
Some people, they're just fighters, man. Like, you ever see them people with a never die spirit? Like, them people, no matter how tough it gets, they're gonna be there and they're gonna scrap. Them people, no matter how tough it gets, they're gonna show up every single day and be positive. Those people, no matter the opposition and adversity, they're gonna keep showing up day by day, pressing the opposition, because the thing about it is, we can't calm the storm. We might as well stop, but we can calm our spirit and the storm will stop. Because every storm has an expiration date. And the beauty of it, when we look back on this COVID period, it's going to be people that's going to look back on it and say, man, because of Corona, because of COVID, I couldn't produce on the level that I was capable of producing at. I couldn't do this. It prevented me from doing this. And then you're going to see people on the other side of it, the 8% that's going to look back at it and say, because of COVID, I tapped into an element of myself that I didn't even know I possessed.